Hello and welcome to Nbyula Talks. Before we begin, we have a few updates and reminders for you. We would love to have you be part of our Nbyula community. And you can do so by logging on to www.nbyula.com, where you can join communities related to your area of interest, register for upcoming Nbyula Talks, book one-to-one skylifts, and view other upcoming events. You can also take this opportunity to connect with fellow learners or the speaker by sending a connection request. When you connect with the speaker, you will be able to contact them directly as well as receive updates about their upcoming talks. Kindly note that during this session, you will not be able to switch on your camera or unmute your mic. To ask questions during the talk, go to the audience chat, type your question, and select Post your question. If your question has not been answered during the talk, you will be notified once it's been answered, or if your question has not been answered during the talk, you can go to www.nbyula.com and spin a quest, and your questions will be answered. Thank you for joining us today. We hope this talk broadens your horizons and takes you to new learning heights.
Hello class, a warm welcome and a very good evening to all present here. I am Sumitra Chatterjee and I'll be handling your Writing Task 1 Introduction and Process Diagram as for today. I want to welcome you all and would encourage you to just put up a hi comment on the chat box so that I would come to know that you have received my information. Before I move on to the Writing Task 1 introduction part, the first thing that I need to tell you is that please have a paper and a pen ready so that you can take down notes as I'll be getting along the Writing Task 1 introduction and the process diagram. So without waiting anymore, let's start on. This is where we start with the introduction part of the Writing Task 1. So Writing Task 1, it is simple if you can understand the protocols, the strategy, the structure, and how to get along with a band 8 score. You can get a band 8 score in the Writing Task 1. What is it? Let's see. Here, the question comes in the form of an image, or we can also say a visual information on a table, bar chart, pie chart, or a process diagram. It could be a map, it could be a line diagram, it also could be multiple charts. Some common information. First of all, on the writing test day, on your test day, you will get the question paper of Task 1 and Task 2 together. You need to spend only 20 minutes in your Task 1. Only 20 minutes. And then you have to move to Task 2. Now, this 20 minutes doesn't mean that you can actually write for 20 minutes. No. You need to segregate the time. Like, you have to plan the essay just for 3 minutes. Extremely crucial part is to plan the essay. You have to understand what are you going to write. Now, you are writing for 15 to 16 minutes. Just 15 minutes is enough for you to pen down the essay. If you have practiced well all the types of diagrams. And then comes the most crucial part is to review the essay. Most students do not have a tendency to review the essay. Okay, they don't want to review. They just write and submit it. Do not ever do that. Please read the essay thoroughly. It will take just some 2 minutes to review the essay to find out that you supposedly had made some mistake and you can rectify the errors. If you're planning to go for the PBT, that is a paper-based test, you will be allowed to write with a pencil. So actually, you can just cut off, you can just rub off the word and put the different word. Now, this task is meant to write at least 150 word limit. At least 150 word limit. That means you have to write more than 150 words. Another crucial mistake made by students. Please make sure that you are writing 150 words. That means you can write up to 165 to 170 words. So there will be no room for the examiner to count the words and find out that you have written any less word. In case of less words, if your writing task falls below 150 words, it means that you're going to get a low band. Don't make any silly error and let the high band go off. Now coming to the marking criteria. In writing task 1, only 33% of your total marks to be taken off. 67% stands with the writing task 2. Because here, ideas are given, you just need to evaluate it. Now, you'll be marked on 4 marking criteria. We also called it the task achievement, coherence or cohesion, lexical resources, and grammatical range and accuracy. So when I come over to this part, I need to describe what are the band descriptor. That I can do afterwards. Let's start off here and move along. Structure. Simple structure. Generally speaking, for 150 word, if you go by the English grammar rule, you may not need to frame any paragraph. But for flexibility and precision, your examiner must understand what you have written. It is very important to frame the essay in 4 paragraphs. Paragraph 1, introduction. Paragraph 2, the overview. Paragraph 3, key features. And paragraph 4, key features 2. Do not go beyond 4 paragraphs. Please make a note on it. Do not go beyond 4 paragraphs. If you go beyond 4 paragraphs, again, it will affect the band. Just 4 paragraphs. Introduction, overview, key features 1 and key features 2. Let us now look at a question. This is a typical question of the IELTS writing task. 20 minutes on this task. About 20 minutes. Remember, on the day of your examination, your invigilator will be giving you both the question papers together, task 1 and task 2. You need to guide yourself along with the time. 20 minutes over, you have to move to task 2. So 20 minutes is the time to be segregated, planning, writing, and review. The diagram below shows a structure that is used to generate electricity from wave power. This is an example of process diagram. Summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features and make comparisons where relevant. Write at least 150 words. Just 150 words. Just write a little more. 160, 165, could be 170 also. Now, let us see the diagram. So this is the diagram. I have purposely taken this diagram because when I see candidates writing on this diagram, they fall short of words. You cannot mark too many discrimination in this diagram. There are 2 diagrams, A and B. As you get the diagram, the first thing you need to decide, what are you seeing? What is happening here? Okay, so we can see that electricity is forming, and that by the wave power. Then you have to categorize the diagram along with the stages. Process diagram is our main topic today. We'll discuss it gradually. Let us see some other diagrams of the writing task one academic. The pie chart below shows the main reason why agricultural land becomes less productive. The table shows how this causes affected three regions of the world during the 1990s. Summarize the information by selecting and repeating features and make comparisons where relevant. An extremely crucial point, please take a note. For multiple chart or single chart, that you will get it in your writing task 1 academic test. You have to show comparison and similarities. Without comparison and similarities, you are not going to get a high band, that is a band 7, 8, 8.5. Now, if you look at this two diagram, one is the pie chart, another is the table. As you are looking at the pie chart, you can see there are some percentages. And the table is also given in percentage. So first diagram, and information that what are the causes for land degradation, causes of worldwide land degradation throughout the world. So see here, overgrazing 35, deforestation is only 30, overcultivation 28, and other is 7. Now if I look at the table, it is based on region, based on North America, Europe, and Oceania. You can see there are multiple numbers here given. In case of table, you need not to take down all the numbers. Just select the key features, the highest, the lowest, and maybe the fluctuating, and write down in your planning time. This is what. Other features are also here to describe a multiple chart that we can come up on some other day. For today, we will concentrate only on process diagram. Next. So the first thing, you are writing an introduction. Introduction means simple word, but complex sentence structure is a requirement. Okay? Introduction will give the examiner an idea. What are you going to write about? And what is it? It is nothing but the question to be paraphrased and write down. For example, look at this question, the pie chart and the table. Both these questions you need to simply paraphrase with different words, different word formation, join the two sentences with a linker, make it a complex structure, and that's your introduction, nothing else. Nothing from your mind. Just these opening lines will be your introduction after you paraphrase. Let's see some example now. For table, if you're writing on a single table, you can write the introduction in this way. The table illustrates employment numbers in Australia over a 30-year period from 1970 to 2000. If you're given a chart, bar chart, line chart, pie chart, the diagram compares the number of cars that were made in France, Germany, and Norway over a decade from 2000 to 2010. Now see the phrases over a 30-year period, over a decade. This is what the examiner wants to look out for. Diagram, a bar diagram. For example, the diagram shows how car parts are assembled, changing just the word. Process. For a process diagram, the cycle shows how man-made fibers are produced, and the map. The map illustrates changes in an English village over a century from 1915 to 2015. So just got the time. What is the time period? Write it in phrases and get a higher band. But remember, if you are having two charts like this one, in that case, both these charts must be evaluated in your introduction paragraph after you paraphrase and forming a complex sentence structure. Next. The second paragraph is the overview. What is an overview? It is nothing but a summarization. Suppose I walk in front of you. I am not speaking to you, I just walk in. You saw me. You will get an idea about me, about who is this Sumitra. You will get an idea, the same idea. That means the trends. What are the trends going on? What are the diversities? What are the developments? What are the stages in case of process diagram? And are there any noticeable feature regarding it? That means the highest, the lowest, the marginal, that drastically change something. You just need to find out the key features and point down in the overview. Another crucial point. Please do not include any numbers, any data in the overview. If you include any number, any data, your band will take a sharp fall. Please note this point also, no number or data to be included. Overview generally comes in the part of a second paragraph, right? A shorter paragraph. Now, body paragraph 3, that is the key features 1. Here, you need to give the key features along with the data. Many students make a mistake here. What they do is that they provide the key features, but they forget the data. What is the data is for? It has been given in the diagram so that you can utilize it. Okay? The next thing is that you have to understand how to compare, contrast, and if there is any similarity, you have to bring it on. Please make a note. For multiple chart or for any other type of diagrams rather than process chart, you have to work on collocations to explain the rise, the fall, the marginal, the similarities, the comparison. Collocations, very important point for word power. Now, it is always better to divide the key features in two broad paragraphs, that is paragraph 3 and paragraph 4. What will happen? The examiner will come to understand your points. Okay, the density of your points, which way you are flowing. It will be clear to him. He would not pressurize him more to understand what you have written. Moving on. 6 inputs. First, analysis. Don't rush off. Plan the essay. Understand the question. So you have to read the question very carefully. Next, you have to group the information. Grouping is another crucial part when it comes to description of diagrams and charts with data. You have to group the information and also maps. Grouping means you are giving a clean cut flow to the essay. Higher, lower, similar, and contrasting. Group them in your planning time. Not 5 minutes, just take 3 minutes to plan. That is enough. Try not to repeat words. Well, I can say that it may not be that easy. That okay, I am not going to repeat word, but sometimes you might repeat word. But if you are reviewing the essay, and while reviewing the essay, you find out, okay, I have repeated this word several times. Please think and get a synonymical word that adjusts with your sentence and put it down. Efficiently use the data. Efficiently means for lot of number of data, numbers and figures like in a table. You may not use all the numbers, but you need to group them, right? Comparison and similarities. Group them and then use it. Another important point, please here take a note. If you are having any type of data with a unit of measurement, like a percentage, instead of using the percentage repeatedly, please start using fractions and proportions to allow the examiner to breathe in. If you are constantly using the same unit of measurement, it will be difficult for the examiner to get through. Give him some space. Use fractions. Use proportions. Deduce the data, the highest and the lowest number. The smallest number will be your accountability. Finally, no informal words are allowed and no contractions to be used in the writing test. You will be penalized for it if you are using informal words or you are using contracted form like it's, don't, did not, shouldn't, haven't, are not allowed. These are only for speaking. For writing, you have to use full form. Do not use any abbreviated form. No short forms are allowed. Finally, a big concept. Never ever take your opinion in task 1. Do not use the personal pronoun I. Don't take I think that, I believe that. Do not do it. You will be highly penalized. And many students have a tendency to provide recommendation or prediction in task 1 at the end. No, you complete the body paragraph 2, deducing the data, over. No recommendation or prediction. This is where we end the writing task 1. Now we are going to the parameters, the band descriptor. So I will close this part and I will take you to the band descriptor. This is the one. Just a minute. Give it some time. It'll be opened up. Okay. I'm opening with Microsoft Edge. It opened. This is another important part. Very important. So see, Cambridge hasn't disclosed any marking criteria, typical marking criteria. We do not know how are they going to cut your marks for spelling, for vocabulary, band descriptor are the parameters. There are 4 parameters. Task achievement, the first one. Coherence and cohesion, the second one. Lexical resources, the third one. And grammatical range and accuracy, the fourth one. So, each of these parameters has a band 9. Check out here. Each of these parameters has a band 9. The examiner will be marking you on these parameters. Like for task achievement, they will give you a band. Suppose you get a band 7 for task achievement. Coherence and cohesion, you got a band 7. Lexical resources, maybe you have repeated some words, maybe some of your words are not correct, so you get a 6.5 here. And again, grammatical accuracy and range, you got, let's guess you are very good in grammar, you have well contended, You have used complex sentence structure. So again, you got a band 7. So now coming here, the total of the whole band is coming up to 27.5. This 27, if you sum up 7 plus 7 plus 6.5 plus 7 is coming to 27.5. There are 4 parameters, 1, 2, 3, 4. They will just divide it by 4 and the total will be 6.88. Now, the question comes, am I going to get a band 7 for it? Well, to be very honest here, we do not know whether it will be band 7 or it will roll back to band 6.5. Most probably it will be 6.5. You know, only 33% is the amount taken from your tax 1 and the high weightage is falling on tax 2. This is how your band will be calculated. We will now look at these parameters. That is, the first one is the tax achievement. So here we are seeing what is tax achievement for band 7 and band 8. Look here, band 8. Our target is band 8. Tax achievement means complete. General thing is that you have understood the question. You have organized similarities. You are able to group the information and you have used the data efficiently. That's it. All the requirements you are fulfilling for band 8. Coherence and cohesion. In simple word, how you are using the order to write down the essay. Are you writing it haphazardly or you are following it in sequences? Using sequencer, the discourse markers. I will show you what are sequencers and how to arrange it logically. Paragraphing sufficiently, that means you know paragraph. This is a part of coherence and cohesion. Lexical resources, simple word, vocabulary. What are the words? See, for band 8, you need not to have, outstanding and bombastic words. No. Some uncommon words, some, and that you can use it in correct sentence structure. Maybe sometimes 1 or 2 times you're making a mistake. That is completely fine. Sometimes 1 time or 2 times you had made a spell error. It is written here. Rare errors. 1 time, spell error. Word choice, word formation. Okay, fine. But wide range of vocabulary. And to get along the vocabulary, the first thing you need to do is to start reading newspaper. Please start reading newspaper at least for 10 minutes a day, enough to boost up your lexical chunks. Grammatical range and accuracy. The first thing you can see here uses a wide range of structures and here uses a variety of complex structures. A variety means at least 3 types. Wide range means at least 5 types. Today, I cannot discuss although, but I will show you what can be a wide range of structure. What can be. Okay? And you need to be grammatically contented. Strong hold on grammar for a band 7 and also for a band 8. Yes, there may be some minor errors that is considered for band 8 also. Right? Closing this bar. Okay, leave. And we'll take you to the process diagram. Right? All away. The process diagram is starting now. So, as our slides start on, let me give you a very good news. That is, in case you get a process diagram, consider yourself lucky. Because in process diagram, you do not have any data to be deduced. No data, just a process. Right? Let me show you some pictures. Look here. This is a cement production and concrete production. Man-made process. We also call it a linear process. Man has made this process. Man is manufacturing something through this process. So it's a linear. What is the meaning of linear? Linear means it has a starting point and an ending point that can be easily diagnosed. That is linear. Rolling down, you can see here this diagram. This is a brick making process, manufacturing of brick, easier one. You can see there are no data given. Some words written and some temperature are given. Going down again, this diagram, this is on production of electricity through wave power. This today we'll be discussing it in detail. And finally coming, the cyclical process or the natural process from the cycle, okay, from nature. What is happening? You have to understand the process carefully. Like, see what is happening here. Like how cloud is forming. Water is getting heated. It is getting along. Then the cloud is forming and then we are having the rain. You have to just understand the diagram. Another one is this one. That is the frog process, the adult frog, and how it is getting from an egg moving to an embryo, tadpole, external gills, and living on some food, then the tail becoming shorter, the young frog and the adult frog. The difficult part in process diagram, natural process or the cyclical process, is to understand where it is starting and where it is ending. This is the most difficult part in a natural diagram. Okay, like see here, some can say adult frog is the starting. Some can say YX at the starting. Now it is completely up to you which part you are taking. Right? This type of cyclical diagram or natural process we can discuss later half. Today we'll be discussing and concentrating on the linear process, that is the man-made process. Let's start. So see here, this is the man-made or linear process and this is the cyclical process. Okay? When you are getting this type of process, whether man-made or cyclical, make sure you're finding the steps. Please write down, the first thing is that you need to read and understand the question. Second, you have to diagonalize the diagram. Is the diagram suggesting you? It will be easier for us. Okay. And it is here. Yeah. So what is happening here? We are having a digger here from which the clay is being culminated. Then the clay is poured into a metal grid, which is on a roller machine and is being rolled into soft parts. Then there is another sub part where the clay is mixed with sand and water and then put into a molder. Okay? From the molder, they are being molded this way or this way. Either they can put into a molder directly or they are going to the drying oven. And from the drying oven, they are going to a kiln and then to a cooling chamber. Finally, they're going to packaging, and from packaging, they are set out to delivery. So first, when you get this type of diagram, the first thing you need to find out how many steps are there. Easier way, steps. If I go generally, I will find, see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 steps. Okay, there are 7 steps. Now, depending on the steps, you need to find the stages. So if I'm going by calculation, this first 3 steps, I can take down as stage 1. This is the first one is stage 1. Number 4 and number 5 could be stage 2. And number 3 could be number 4, 5 and number 6 could be stage 3, the third stage, the final stage. For each process diagram, please find out the steps and then the stages. It will be easier for you to diagonalize the diagram and to write it down. Key features are easier to get through, easier. Everything is given, is written. You just need to utilize your word power and your sentence structure and how and what are the stages. That's it. Moving on here. Now, some must-known facts. Please write it down. The first thing to write down a process diagram is to know the passive voice. Your sentences must be in a passive voice. Otherwise, band 8 will be tougher. Passive voice means what? See here. My mother bakes cookies. My mother is the subject. Cookies is the object. And bakes is the main verb. This is an change it into passive voice. What I'm going to do? I will take the object, cookies, I'll place I'll put a helping verb according to the noun. If the noun is singular, then singular helping verb like is. Plural, then plural helping verb like are. Cookies are baked by my mother. This is the passive voice. So passive voice means, please take a note, a helping verb, a be plus the main verb third form, the past participle form, and that's it. You are going to write voice. In case of process diagram, the tense you are going to use is simple present tense, present perfect tense, and present continuous tense. Please make a note. Process diagram doesn't instigate you to use past tense. Could be future tense sometimes. But present tense is the main categorized tense for past process diagram. Now see, if you are writing in present continuous tense. My mother is baking cookies. Is baking is active voice. I have to change into passive. So cookies are being baked by my mother. This is the passive voice. Present perfect tense. My mother has baked cookies. Cookies has been baked by my mother. Just put a be verb and change the verb in the third form, the past participle form, and write down the passive voice. We can do some activities in our class so that this type of passive voice exercises can be relevant to you throughout. Complex sentence structure. So here you will see 4 types of complex sentence for a band 8. Always remember, Each candidate who are going for the IELTS test, they are good in grammar. They have sufficient word power. They know how to diagonalize the diagram. They have learned, they have practiced. So why the examiner will give me a band-aid? It is only because you are standing out in the crowd. And that by using a differential ways of complex sentences. Number one are linkers and connectors. Simple. And, but, because, so. Okay, however, moreover, while, whereas. These are linkers or connectors. You are simply joining two simple sentences with a linker and a connector and framing a complex structure. This is what done by most of the students. For example, this process makes the brick to be packed and delivered in the final two steps. Okay, complex structure with a linker. The second type of sentence structure is using of relative clause. The bricks are placed in an oven which heats them up to 100 degrees. Please take down a note. If you are joining two simple sentences with relative pronoun, now what are the relative pronoun? Like which, where, when, who, and whom, and also that. I repeat, which, where, who, where, whom, and that. If you're using these words to join two simple structures, you are actually framing a relative clause pronoun. Adverbial clause. Now, adverbial clause and participle clause need to be explained a bit. That can be done in a separate timing. See here, before the bricks are packed, you are putting a coordinating conjunction in the before. They are heated for 48 to 72 hours. This is an adverbial clause, high graded complex sentence structure. Finally, coming participle clause. This also need to be explained a bit. Having been heated, you have a participle. See, having, been, and heated. Okay, the be verb and the third form of heat, heated, heated, participle form. You are using it at the starting of a sentence. For 48 to 72 hours, the bricks are packed. Please note down that all the sentences, after one sentence get over, you have to put a comma. Apart from that comma, if you forget to put a comma, your sentence is not a complex structure, is not a clause structure. Right. Now the structure, the same thing, same funda here. Introduction, what it is saying. Copy and paraphrase the statement in the question. Look at the question, paraphrase it and put it down. Introduction. Overview, the main features. What are you going to do? What is written? What is the overall idea? Overall idea, overview. Body paragraph 1, the first diagram or the key features like the stages. If you find out the stages, you can divide the stages. Stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. Okay, so body paragraph 1, you can just put the first two stage, and body paragraph 2, the third stage. But remember, you cannot move beyond 4 paragraphs in the academic task 1. So see here, the same diagram. What you can see, if we study this diagram carefully, what can we see? Diagram A and diagram B. Electricity is produced. They have afflicted some type of man-made features over here with the turbine. So when the wave is coming inside the chamber, what is happening? The turbine is rotating in a clockwise direction, and this is producing electricity. B. When the wave is receding back to the ocean, feel you are standing on the sea beach near the shore. The wave is going back. You will feel some type of pressure under your feet. This pressure is creating the turbine to rotate again and hence producing electricity. There is some information given like the air passing out and passing in, okay? And clip or seawall where they have erected the structure, the turbine, and the column which is holding the wave to force in. This way you have to diagnose. But remember, this diagram could be a trap because in this diagram there is very little to write. Your essay should not fall below 150 words. Now see, 5 steps, 5 questions. Please click it inside your head. You can also take a picture of these 5 questions. First one, is it a linear or cyclical process? Question yourself. This is a man-made process or a natural process? Second, what does the process start and end? For this diagram, the process is starting in part A. The process is starting when the wave is coming and forcing the air to flow upwards. And it is ending producing electricity. For diagram B, the process is starting when the air is receding back along with the wave and again forcing the turbine to rotate and producing electricity. The end product in both these cases are electricity. Number 3, how many steps are there to the process? Well, there are not much step, but yes, there are stages. Only 2 stages. Diagram A is giving 1 stage and diagram B is giving the 2nd stage. So diagram A will come in your body paragraph 1 and diagram B will come in your body paragraph 2. But remember, here again, you cannot repeat ideas. Please note down, I am not allowed to repeat the same idea. Can the process be easily broken into stages? Yes. For this diagram, for each diagram, you can break the process into stages. Stage means you are getting the key features. You are able to form the body paragraphs. What are the raw materials? What is produced at the end of the process? Here, the raw material is wave power and air. And what is producing at the end? Electricity. That's it. So, very less writing skill, very less writing. This is the main point. This can be a trap for you so that you will fall below 150 words. What is the end result of the process? Nothing. Getting electricity, that is the end result. 5, 6 questions. Please mark it inside your head, and for each type of process diagram, you are going to ask yourself this question. If you can answer this question, you can easily write down a band 8 essay on process diagram. First one, I am introducing the process. See how I have done it. Question. The diagram below show a structure that is used to generate electricity from wave power. Electricity I cannot change. Current I can write it, right? Current also. But yes, other words I can change. Look at the question, this question. Linear process, cyclical process. Linear process. Man-made. The 2 diagrams, here they're saying diagrams. I am just extending it a bit because I have to reach my word power. The two diagrams illustrate a method of creating electricity from the forces of waves using a specifically designed man-made construction. Okay, that means that we have used specifically designed man-made construction. You are saying it's a linear process. Once you set a point, you cannot repeat it. Now we have to write an overview. Now see, if you are going to describe here that how wave is coming in and how wave is going out, wave is receding back, and you are writing this in the overview, then what are you going to describe in the body paragraph? Remember, you cannot repeat the same points. So paragraph 2, overview. Overall, this is the cohesive device. This is maintaining your coherence and cohesion. We call it sequencing phrases. Through a specially designed structure, a green source of electrical energy can be produced by the constant movement of the sea, which forces the air through a chamber. Okay, so I'm just giving an overall idea what is happening, not in detail, which forces the air to move through the chamber and thereby producing electricity. Overall idea given. Now coming to body paragraph 1. As seen in the first image, the man-made structure must be built next to a seawall or cliff. We have seen in the diagram there is a seawall and cliff, so that the foundation is strong enough to withstand the powerful waves. Now see here, this point, so that the foundation is strong enough to withstand the powerful waves. This is not an extra information. You are segregating the information from this diagram. This is a strong structure because the forces of the water, they have to withstand it. That you are writing. This is not external information. This information is given. Okay. There is a specially constructed chamber, possibly built from a combination of metal and concrete. Now you are giving the description of the diagram because you need to write down 150 words. Describe the diagram that allows sea water to flow in and out. The chamber leads into a column where a turbine is suspended. Right? Into a column. See here. Chamber leads into a column where a turbine is suspended, a hanging turbine. Right? Into the chamber, the water forcefully pushes the air out of the column. Now you are describing the process. So first, in the body paragraph 3, you are describing the design because you have very less to write. And next, you are describing what is the process. As the strong rush of air travels upwards, it pushes past the turbine, causes it to rotate quickly. It is this mechanical movement of the turbine that generates electricity. Over part 1. Now, once you have given the description of the diagram, you cannot repeat it. Let's see. Body paragraph 4, stage 2. Electricity is also created as the receding wave draws air back down the column. Second part, wave is going back. Okay, wave is going back and air is forcing down and electric turbine is moving. As the turbine moves, electricity is created. This point will come. As is shown in the second picture, when the wave recedes, air fills the chamber, which allows the process to continue as the waves will be kept entering and exiting the chamber, making the turbine spin continually. What you are seeing, the same thing will come up here. Not much use of word power, but yes, some words need to be reduced, some collocation, strong rush of air, making the turbine spin continually. The result is a sustainable source of electrical energy. And that's it. No need of any conclusion. Do not repeat any point in your conclusion. You just need to write 4 paragraphs. The finished product. See here, I have marked some words here in red color and some in yellow. The yellow one, like overall, as seen in the first image, as shown in the second picture, the result is this we call sequencers. As you are opening a paragraph, please use sequencers, sequencing phrases. There are lots. You can also culminate your own sequencers if you are able to do that. If not, we can help it with sequencers. But these are cohesive devices marking the red color. See, which is a relative clause structure. That is a relative clause structure. So that is an adverbial clause structure. When the wave flows into the chamber, again an adverbial clause structure. When a wave recedes, again an adverbial wave structure. And finally, and a linker or a connector, compound structure. So see, if I am being the examiner and I'm seeing this one, first of all, I will see that, okay, has the candidate used sequencers? Yes, he has used it. Fine, good. Now, how many words are repeated? Not much. Some of the words must be repeated because there is no other way out. Any points repeated? No, points are not repeated. Good. Okay. Now, collocation being used? Yes, green source is a collocation. Now, what a collocation are very an integral part of writing and speaking, that we can give some idea about collocation. Maybe you are knowing what a collocation, you just know that those are collocation. Some collocations are need to be used. Okay, some for band 8, even for band 7. And next the writer will check out how many types of sentence structure have you written. Have you only written the linkers and the connectors, the compound structure, or the clause structure? Adverbial clause, participle clause, relative clause. Easier. Just need to explain a part of the grammar so that you can understand how to frame it. If you have any question, please type it right away in the chat box. I'm waiting. And please do not deter from asking me any type of question. You are free to ask. Don't think that, no, if I ask this question, people will think that I am not up to the mark. There is nothing up to the mark. There is nothing up to the less. You may be good in English. You may not be good in English. But it is quite possible that you are highly intellectual. English language, writing, speaking, reading, and listening is just a matter of practice. Since this is not our native tongue, so we have to practice. Believe in yourself and keep on practicing. Now, I'm waiting for any type of questions. If you are having, please let me know. Okay, so I'm here. Okay. So, questions. Is there any question anybody is having, please? I'm waiting. Please put up the question so that I can answer. Yes, okay. Okay, so first one, let me check out one after another. Okay, you have seen me. Hi, Sumitra. Yeah, very good. No need to take my name. Sorry, no need to call me ma'am. I don't believe in whenever we meet you. Okay. Next one is that can't see the screen you have shared with us. Excited for the talk. Thank you. Screen not visible. Okay. I guess your screen. Okay. Ma'am, sometimes I'm not able to collect my thoughts to write a proper problem. Candidates do have it. Candidates don't get the way how to develop. Do one thing. Look at any question on task 1, any type of question, whether process or any other diagram. Search for sample answers from the Google. Lots of websites are offering sample answers. You can just click along, look at the sample answer, understand and develop your points. But remember, don't ever try to copy it, because in the IELTS examination, you just cannot copy it. Okay? The next one, I do not know why my screen is not visible. I have already given my screen. I do not know why people cannot see me. Okay. Now, next one, can you please repeat why I shouldn't use I? Yeah. You cannot use I. I give you a very good example. There is one candidate in the current place where I'm teaching, I'm being a trainer. So the guy actually, we signed a lot of assignments, and the guy actually got a band 7 and 7.5. Really good assumption, vocabulary, evaluation. And in the IELTS examination, he got a band 5.5. So he came up one day and he was very upset. And he asked me that why I got this type of band. What is the reason for that? So when I evaluated his papers, he did a blunder in task 2. Forget about that. In task 1, he took his opinion. Remember, in IELTS, reading, listening, writing, and speaking, instruction is a crucial factor. Instruction is not asking you to take your opinion, so you are not going to take your opinion. No use of I. Okay, next one. Which tense is used in the process diagram? Present tense, present perfect tense. You can also use present continuous tense, but only in passive voice. Any other question anyone is having? Hello, class? Anybody? No. Okay, so that's it. Okay. Nobody is having any other question? No, right? So here, now I'm going to, I do not know why my video is not on. Anyways, so I'm going here. I think now my video, yeah. I mean, no, when it comes to this technology thing, I'm a little bit get constructed. Okay. So anyways, I cannot take all your names. Happy joining me. I wish you like my class. If you do not like me, just put up a message. Whatever I can change if you want. And whatever the good things that I have done, it will be a great appreciating part in my case. Because I always look forward to change my perspective and to improve. Okay. Hope you liked my class till now. Until then, goodbye, good night, happy weekend. Bye-bye.